Oh God, no. Not that thing. I am live. Just giving that heads up. There's nobody in here yet, thank God. All right. No, I said nobody's in here yet. It's so weird that it did that. Hello, hello, guys. Hi, welcome in. We'll be getting started shortly with the bead design. I just wanted to say hi to everybody before we start getting into creation mode. Welcome, welcome. Hi, Regina. I can't wait. I got like the original with me so that I can start building with you guys and you get to see the whole series portion set up. Welcome, welcome. I know we're still waiting on a few people. I hit the live button by mistake earlier and it did some weird like thing where it blocked it out and then I don't know. I'm just pushing, I pushed the button to go live and we're going to go into creation mode here shortly. I just want to, I want to start promptly at 7. So I just joined a little earlier so I could say hi to everybody as you guys are walking in or joining. I shouldn't say walking in. Oh my goodness. Hi, welcome in. Hi, Suzette. Make sure you guys, if you have questions, feel free to ask questions because I'm going to end up flipping the camera so I'll be able to see everything you guys are saying. But as we're going through the process of creating the custom fidget keycap bead and bead pen topper, feel free to ask questions. If there's something that's, even if it's off topic on glues and everything, just ask me. Oh, awesome. Yes. It's so I love sharing. Obviously, you guys have seen that. I love being able to share a lot of really good information on just bead building in general. And I come from two sides of it, right? So I have the excitement portion where we are creating and, inventing new designs and things like that. But I also look at it from the business perspective, right? Because yes, we got into it because we love the crafty and the creative side and the cute chibi charms. That's why I call my business Chibi Charms. But we have to make a business out of it, right? We have to regain the investment that we made. And so I wanted to make sure that I teach you guys this because I did this Bead and Build Live event on one of my other channels back in September, and I couldn't believe how many people were like, I'm lost. I have like all these beads and all these things. I don't know what to do with them. Like, how do I get this out to people and what do I? So I'm like, okay, I really need to sit and think about this. And I did. And that's where I was just like, I think the biggest thing is like, we need to get out of the mindset that we're just bead makers or bead pen makers. There's so many niches that you guys can get into. And I'm going to share all of the ones that I've talked about on all the other lives, as well as the stuff I've talked about in the video. So I originally made the froggy and you guys saw that one. And I got a lot of like, everybody was like, I want to see you create the magical froggy theme. But one of the biggest aspects was, what do I do with it now, right? So I'm going to share with you guys how you can create this as like a signature line, how you can tap into the niche of people who have mechanical keyboards. So now not only are they buying a super cute, because they obviously love kawaii stuff, right? They're buying a super cute pen, but it'll be something that becomes interchangeable. It becomes a collectible. So I want you guys to learn all about that. And yeah, we're going to be doing this here in less than a minute. As soon as it turns 7, I'm just going to flip this camera around and we're going to do it. There it is. All right, so let's flip the camera. Hi, guys. Welcome in. Feel free to ask your questions as we are building here. I'm going to flip the camera so you guys can see everything that we're working with. Just as a heads up, I will be posting the materials and all the information on my Substack by tomorrow. So if you're live, you get all the goodies right now, but I will be adding that information into my Substack. So if you don't know where to get that, that is on the homepage, not the homepage, click on the link in my bio and you'll be able to get that full breakdown. And it's free to subscribe. If you end up subscribing as a paid subscriber, we do weekly lives on Fridays, and that's where I could literally get a little more one-on-one with you guys and be able to specifically address design issues you have for your business and guide you through some series ideas. All right, cool. So if you guys remember the video, welcome in, guys. If you guys remember the video, I showed you guys that I invented this super cute little froggy. It had the little light LED. It's a bead pen topper and a fancy bead all-in-one. What we didn't dive into or anything just yet is the fact that this design isn't just perfect for a bead pen. It opens me up to enter a different market that I probably never even realized that you could leverage, right? As a bead designer, as a bead creator. So what I'm going to show you guys is my keyboard, right? I obviously love chibi stuff here. I have a mechanical keyboard. I am not the only person who has a mechanical keyboard. Heck, there are live creators on here that are quite literally selling mechanical keyboards and have tons of them, right? But guess what? I can create a series. That's why I have all my froggies here, right? I can create a froggy series using these generic chibi frogs. Design it like if I was using it for a bead pen topper, which I did, right? In this aspect, I actually created it for a bead pen because I have a bead there and it's all that, right? Cool. All right. I could also pop this little frog off, pop it onto a mechanical keyboard, and now it becomes, here, let me flip my lights on for my, there we go. I can use it on my mechanical keyboard. Guess what? Now, as a bead pen top holder, because I collected your froggy series as a bead pen creator, I can pop the next froggy on my pen. So now I have a froggy on my keyboard and I have a froggy on my pen. Guess what? This was actually originally a keychain. So if I wanted to, I could have kept the keychain piece here. I'm going to show you guys how to do it with and without, but I could have kept the keychain piece here. And I would have easily and instantly been able to attach a keychain, and now my bead pen topper becomes a fidget keycap on the go. So that's three markets that I can get into. The people who love collecting bead pens, the people who have mechanical keyboards that want the cute chibi characters, and the people who love having a fidget keychain and just attach the little sucker with me and take it with me. That's how you build a signature series that's collectible. That's how you build a signature series that's collectible, that will have customers wanting more, because that's just your first series, right? That's just that first little series that you have. But it'll also be something that you can have people want to purchase more of, because now it's versatile. Like they can actually, hi guys, hello, welcome. Hi Bailey. It's versatile, so you can actually now leverage the people who have the mechanical keyboards to collect them for that reason. And you want to take it a step further? Use them in mystery bags. Hey, you'll get a base design, right? You'll get that base design, but now you can put it in a mystery in a mystery pack. So they could collect the other series. Guys, if collecting was not something that was in demand, you wouldn't have people standing in line for Labubus. So take it from me when I tell you that's how you want to scale. I'm not telling you to do it all in one go. Obviously, find the design series that you want to do. For me, I was collecting bead pen, charms that I was turning into bead pen toppers. And it's like a whole little series of frogs. And then I'm like, you know what? How cool would it be to make it, put it on a keycap fidget and make it an actual bead pen topper. Oh, and then I could take it a step further and put it on a keyboard. Oh, and then I can also take it another step further, leaving that piece there. Guess what? You could also use this piece and leverage it to put a drop pendant on it, right? For your bead pens. So this is what I'm referencing, right? So if you left that piece on, you could also have a drop pendant that has the lobster clasp on it. And now look at that. You have a drop pendant for your pen, right? So when I tell you, once you open that door, your mind's going to start flooding from the design aspect of it. So what we're going to do today is we're going to go through create one, and you'll see it come to life and how I put all, the little stickers and all the stuff, and I put it together. But most importantly, you guys are going to understand why it's important to have a signature series, because guess what? Nobody else is going to take the time to do that. I could do like 3 or 4 sets of these, offer them as a limited series. And now people are going to want to collect them because it's that FOMO effect, right? So, oh my gosh, thank you. I love you. Thank you so much for that gift. All right. So we got that. We got our model. We know how it works. So basically I'll break it down for you guys. So I made a fancy bead out of a standard 20 millimeter bead. This one has just the base color on it, so I didn't have to like color the entire base. We are going to start offering these in our shop, but we have like the base color bead. I have the rhinestones that I put around the rhinestone tape. If you guys haven't seen like these types of tapes, I love them. They're normally for fabrics, but I'm like, you know what? We could use that on a bead. The only difference is you want to make sure I'm going to show you guys all this with the top coats and everything. You're going to want to put some top coat on it just because they're like for fabric, they are very sticky on the edges. So you don't want somebody trying to touch the bead and then it just feels like a sticky mess. We also are using nail stickers, right? Because that's where I got, I had actually originally bought these stickers for my nails because I was going to do nail designs. And then I'm like, oh my God, we can cross-use supplies, like legit. Everybody's just like focused on one thing or one craft and one. No, you can legit use or cross-use supplies from the nail industry into this. So this one, you're going to see a lot more of that. The coating that I have on the frog, that's top coat gel. It's the glossy, long-lasting one. I use it from Beetles. No base gel needed, none of that. I just do the top coat. It gives it that acrylic shine surface. And those decals that you see on him, including that little mosquito one, that's a sticker. Those are from the nail stickers. Thank you guys for the gift. I appreciate you. So we're going to go through the process. We're going to create every piece, connect it all together, and then we'll have a second bead pen topper / keyboard, fidget, everything in there. So when I bought these like a couple of years ago. This is why I continue to tell you guys in your videos, please start with the supplies you have. Look through them. As a matter of fact, the video, I think it was yesterday, it was about creating your signature series. I gave you guys homework. It's literally a 5-step process because you're going to break everything that you have down and pair it with, create your series idea and then look at all the supplies that you have. Which one can you launch faster with all the supplies you currently have on hand without having to buy more? So that's where we're starting. So what I did was I was like, okay, I have these fidget keycap things with the little keychain holder and all that. And I bought this 2 years ago, but the battery's still going strong on that. But I did buy some extra little batteries. So I was like, you know what? I want to buy extra batteries for this project because these are 2 years old. So if I were to sell this to someone, chances are that battery is going to die out quick. So it's been a while. So I want to make sure I replace the battery. That's number one. And by the way, these are super cheap. Number two is making sure that I have something that shines through, right? So these are also super cheap. They're just the standard keycaps that work with the fidgets. Could you use the original one that it comes with? Sure. But then it removes that, the ability for you to see the LED light. See how much more different it looks when you can see through the clear keycap. So that's the second thing that I had to review. And, you know, when I was making my prototype, which I mentioned in that video, right? Always look at your prototype, create a prototype, and then see what it is that you need to make it the full effect or give it the full effect. So I needed to get a base keycap that I could see through so I could see the light. I needed the, oh gosh, what was it that I mentioned? Oh, I needed to grab my supplies, right? So I needed my clear coats, my nail paints, because like I said, I started in this whole journey with wanting to just learn how to do my own nails, and I was able to leverage the supplies I had. And then use those nail stickers with the theme. The little characters, I had already bought them. They were in my inventory. They were in my inventory because I had bought them to use them as bead pen toppers. And as a matter of fact, if you look at them, they have a hole underneath that I drilled to make them bead pen toppers. So that's quite literally like the spacers. That's all part of my supply, my bead supply. The 20 millimeter bead, that's part of my bead supply. The rhinestones, part of my bead supply because I wanted to make my own fancy beads. So I already had that. So always leverage what you have first. Try to create the best design possible. And then if you do need a couple of supplies, it's a lot cheaper than going, oh my God, I just need to start this whole series and start buying everything again. Because then you're going to go down that rabbit hole and it's just going to end up in you feeling overwhelmed. It's too much. And then you're going to try to flash sale everything because you want to get rid of all the materials. So we're not doing that. All right. So like I said, we went through it, we evaluated. I'm like, okay, battery is fine, whatever. But I want to design this completely. So I have to take everything apart. So for this one, I started by using the little tool that came with my keyboard to pop out the base and remove the battery. And obviously safely dispose of this, but this is the original battery that it came with. I don't want it just because I don't want it to run out for a customer when they get it. So I'm going to implement the new one once we're ready to get to that part. But I also want to separate the working piece from the base because we're going to be coloring the base like we have here. We're going to be coloring the base and doing all that and putting it into the UV light. It automatically records. So I am able to download the video. The full video is going to be for my paid subscribers on Substack. So just giving you a heads up that the full training. Same thing for the first live that I had. That's going to be going on there for Substack as well. But if you're joining live, you're getting all the information right now. All right. So here we have the, like I said, you're going to be putting this through the UV light. Don't put in the mechanical pieces just in case you don't want it to mess anything up, right? Or you don't want any, not resin, you don't want any gel polish getting on your mechanical pieces and then permanently gluing that piece in there. So we take it apart. It can come apart. So if you ever buy any of these types, they do come apart. For this particular design, I clipped off the keychain portion. I'm going to leave this one on just so that you guys can see that we can use it as a two-way, right? You can offer more value to your clients by including a keychain. It doesn't have to be the one that comes with the keycap. It can be one that you put together, right, from your supplies. If you bought keychains for your, or keychain supplies, you know, to go hand in hand with your bead pens. But if you want to use the one that comes with it, use it. You already bought it. It's a part of the tool. Add it as a value add, right? It's a valuable piece that you can now clip onto the keychain and then put it on your keychain or put it on top of your bead pen. You're making it do more than one thing. And that's the point I'm driving home. You're making it more valuable than them buying a $20 pen, right? Now, if they buy a $25 or $30 pen, it becomes a collectible series that they can put on their keyboard, they can carry around in their keychain, and they want to have the whole series because God knows we all love to collect. So that's the point of me showing you all of this, right? This is a market nobody has touched. I know because I scroll the crap out of TikTok every day. And I don't know yet anybody who's done something like this to tap into the bead pen market, the fidget keychain market, and the mechanical keyboard market all in one shot. So if you're listening to this and you guys are excited and you want to do this, this is your call to like start doing this and take action and finding your series and making it happen, right? I'm literally giving this information away. I'm not hoarding it for myself. All right. So, I'm going to keep that one on. But like I said, I want to separate it from all the mechanical pieces so it doesn't mess up the actual piece I need to have work for the light when we get to that point. So what I did was when I designed this, or when I was working to design it, there's, like I said, I have all the stuff for the nails. So I learned a little while ago that if I wanted something to stick or to be steady on these surfaces like this that have, that I have to kind of work around. Depends on, if you guys have little stickers and stuff. Oh, so that piece, I got it online. And like I said, I'll share all of that. Click the link in my bio and you guys will see, my article site and all that. I got to be careful with how I say this stuff because they're like dinging me with violations if I say other sites. But if you guys, so like I said, I bought these like on packs. They sell them like in 6-packs. Actually, the place where I bought it, they had it like in a 24-pack. Like I said, I got it like 2 years ago, so they were just sitting there. But I used these little sticky dots, and they're like, you guys can use contact tape, like the 3M contact tape, like all that stuff. But what I like about these is I can apply it to like any of my tools. So like you guys have seen the bead pen shaper here. I can apply it to like my tools. Take the other little double-sided sticky tape, and you can use any kind of double-sided sticky that, quite literally can just provide a hold. But these are normally used for like the little nail. Here, let's see if I can. They're used for these when you're creating your nails. So if you don't have those, it doesn't matter. Just get something that's a double sticky tape. And then I pop it into the inside. So now I have a way to work and paint without it, like me literally having to touch it, right? So that's how I stick it. That's how I don't have to put any paint or anything in the inside. I don't need it, right? So that's how I do it. For this piece, you are going to need to use some base gel. That way, the gel paints that we're using can stick, and then we'll finish it up with the top coat. So let me grab my base gel. I think I have it over here. Here we go. I got the base gel. And just like you would do if you were designing nails or whatever, just paint it. And paint only the surfaces you need, right? We don't need to put this on the inside edge. You can put it on the bottom, but it's not necessary because as you can see from down here, they won't even see that part. And this is not going to get separated from that piece. So it's not required to, like, don't waste your product and your supply, right? So just paint around the edges that you need. When we do the top coat, then we'll go underneath around the edges just because I don't want it to flake off. Or if somebody, like, let's say, puts it in their pocket or something, I don't need it flaking off or peeling. So we'll protect it with the top coat. But for the base gel, which is all we need is, for the paint to stick to the surface without it being runny, this is how we do it. And I will paint. So like this is like the first time I'm doing it with that keychain piece, just because I'm showing you guys there's two ways to do it. You can remove the keychain piece, but keep adding those value adds for customers. Show them that it's a versatile design. And when you pick your theme, whatever theme it is, whether it's a character or it's these little chibi characters, like whatever it is that you're doing, butterflies, just keep the theme consistent for that series. Release one series at a time, right? So once I have it ready, I can pop it into my UV LED. I have a portable, let me move my camera over here so you guys can see it. I have my portable UV LED and I can pop it in there. Now, before I pop it in there, I don't want to just lay it flat. I do have a, if I can find it here. You know, there are times where I am so organized, and then there's times where I am over organized to the point where then I can't find what I need. I don't know if anybody else has that issue. We want to be super organized, but then we are a little overly organized and then lose our base stuff. So, all right, no worries. I'm going to we're going to do this a craftier way, right? So I don't need that base, but I can at least rest it on here. Whoops. Let me make sure I didn't mess up my stuff when that thing slipped. Okay, good. It's good. All right. So I'm going to rest it on there, but you want to make sure it's off of the base. It's not going to touch the base of the plate, and it's pointed into the machine. I'm doing 60 seconds. And while that cures, I can start, prepping my color. So if you notice on the original one, I have it looks like a halo green with some glitter. So what I did for that one is I grabbed the green design, and I actually added some like this. Not an off-white. I don't even know what to call it. It's almost like a transparent white to lighten the green. I didn't want it so deep, but I wanted to keep the glitter and the green essence. So you can see it's like sparkly with the little glitter, but just enough so it didn't drown out the stickers, right? So, all right, cool. It's got like 4 seconds left. So when I mix my color, I like to use a resin plate for that. If I can, let's see here. All right, let me grab my resin plate here. 1 second. And if you guys have the nail supplies, great. If you don't, I'm not advocating for you to go buy a ton of stuff. Just try to figure it from that perspective. You can create a series out of the things you do have. Even if you just got to tweak it a little bit, it's still unique to you. All right. I have literally misplaced all of my stuff trying to be super organized. Oh God, it's right here in my face. Good Lord. All right. So this is the plate that I use. I use those glass resin coasters. You can see it's got a little wear on it because I've been using it. I use the glass resin coasters because then I could easily wipe it with an alcohol swab when I'm done. So I'm only going to need a little bit. I don't need a ton. We're not, unless I'm mass making these. And by the way, you can. If you know you're going to do an entire series in one shot, fine. Make them in mass. Doesn't matter. But you don't, if all you're doing is that one supply piece, don't waste your product. Always, if you need to add a little more later, fine. But don't do an entire batch and then realize, okay, I'm only going to use a small amount. Let's try that. And I'm going to mix it using a silicone head here, and I'm gonna grab a little bit before I grab the rest. I just need it to be light enough and still continue keeping the consistency of the glitter, like have the glitter piece. All right, you could do a little more. And I only need enough to paint the outsides of this piece. The keycap portion, the actual one that the little froggy is gonna sit on, that one's going to have like a blue and white, because it's I did it with the intention that this is the swampy area, and then there's the water, right? They're sitting on a lily pad or something on the water. Okay, here we go. You can use any standard brush. Oh, that one's too small. 1 second. There we go. You can use a standard brush. You know, I use these all the time. They're called number 6 brushes. They're just a standard little brush because you just want to brush it. You don't want to use the one that comes with the nail polish. Don't ruin your nail supplies. If you're going to be using your nail supplies, don't ruin them. Always, you know, separate the stuff out. And don't mix brushes. If you use one for your rhinestone gel and then one for your paint, great. But don't mix your paint ones with the rhinestone gels. All right, now that we have our base, it's just quite literally painting it over. And guys, it's super simple. Or just painting, just almost like you're doing a craft project. Nothing, or not doing nails, you know, or anything like that. It just has to give us the effect that we're going for. And just spread it out evenly. We just want it glowing. We don't need it completely saturating the piece. Because remember, we still got to add the stickers. All right, let's mix it with a little bit. We don't need to do the whole thing. It's giving us the effect we want. We just want a halo of the swamp. We don't need the full swamp in there. So there we go. And because I just want the halo effect, I don't need to give it a second coat or anything like that. I'm just making sure I cover all the edges of the faceplate, not the bottom, not the especially not the inside, because you don't want it you don't want to goop up anything there to make it difficult to then have to install your piece back on there and it not work. All right, cool. We got enough on there. Good to go. And now we can pop it back into our UV light to cure that gel as well. Okay. So are there any questions so far on the process? You know, questions on what I, mean when we're talking about signature series and tapping into other markets while this thing is curing? I know yesterday during my whatnot, I shared with you guys some other markets that you probably haven't even thought about. So I had these, I don't know if I'm sure you guys have seen these. You saw your working mat too. No, that was on Target. That was at the dollar spot on Target. The gel you're using. Oh, it's because I started with this for my nails. So I just kept using what I had. Like I said, I used what I had, which is quite literally the Beals brand, for almost everything except for these. I had also bought these when I bought my initial supplies like 2 years ago. Now that these are not 2 years old, but I was using them when I was creating my nails, because that's how I started on all this. I really wanted to just start working on creating my own nails. But another niche market that you guys have probably never even realized that you could tap into is the Sweet 16, the wedding, the quinceañera, the prom type. I mean, not so much the prom, but more of the events, baby showers, right? Your signature series doesn't have to just be like little chibi characters like this. It could very well, you could use a flat acrylic like this and make an entire design series that matches maybe a wedding dress, that matches a quinceañera or a sweet 16 party dress. Now you entered the bulk selling. You've entered the bulk selling. Oh, the green stuff. It's the same thing. It's Beatles. It's just nail polish with the glitter. You'll have entered now a market where instead of selling one pen at a time, you can actually sell it in bulk because they want to buy custom. They want to buy something that's unique and for their event. No, this was in Target. This is all online. So, and I think they even have their own site. But no, the gel is just, it's normally used for nails. But like I said, I advocate for using what you have. And because I already had these supplies when I was making my own nails, I leveraged those supplies to create items for my fancy beads or my bead pen designs. You keep saying the matte. Like this pink one, that's from Target. That's just that's not a mat. It's actually a tray. It's like a paint tray. So you can use paint trays as well. All right. So once we have it on here, I know everybody's probably thinking the next logical thing is going to be to add the stickers. It is not. The stickers do not stick as well as you think. And they actually start bubbling if you're not careful when you put it on the standard color gel. So what we want to do is we're going to do a thin layer of top coat, add our stickers, and then do a final layer of top coat to protect the sticker. Not only will that ensure that we have closed out any of the pieces for the gel not to peel off, but it also means that the stickers are not going to bubble because this is still like, if I touch this, it'll leave my fingerprint on there. Like it's still, it's cured, but it's not sealed gel. So I am going to add my top coat. Now for these projects, I do have my own top coat just for my nails and then the ones that I use for my project. But it's the brand that I actually really like and they're affordable and super easy to use. Now for this layer of top coat, I'm not doing the bottom yet. I don't need to do the bottom part just yet. And I only do the edges of the bottom part. I don't do the middle. That way I can apply my rhinestone gel. But I do the edges primarily so that I could just create the surface that I need for the stickers. Like I said, just color it on. You don't have to go crazy. You don't have to worry about being perfect with it. I mean, obviously do your best to coat everything, right? So you don't have gaps of your paint or of the paint on there. And then, you know, your customers are feeling sticky pieces on there. But if you have to give it 2 passes just before you cure it, do that. Give it 2 passes and then cure it. It also helps wipe off any excess if you're doing that. All right, that's good. Now I'm going to go ahead and put it under the light for 60 seconds, and then we're going to add our stickers. All right. Are you? Yes, I am. I am actually going to use a tool to repost my stuff because it was just getting to be a pain to put each individual thing that I was doing. I've been posting like 3 to 4 times a day, sharing all the information with you guys. And every single platform has its own little format. So I'm like, okay, I need to find a tool that lets me post in one place and then just shoots it out to all the others. But yes, I am on all of those. Same username, by the way. Same username across the board for all of them. All right, so for this one, I know when I did this one, like that little sticker of the mosquito, I don't know if you guys can see that, was not on this piece. I thought it was super cute to add it on there because it looks like he's drinking bug juice, right? Because they love their flies or their mosquitoes. And then that little pond frog wording was also on there. So like this could be my pond frog series. And so here we have the mosquito. That's also an add-on. That's not how the sticker came, but like I added the little mosquito in between. And then all of these are the stickers from this series. So I wanted to show you guys like this legit came from a nail sticker series. All right. So I added my top coat. I can touch it. There's no fingerprints. It's ready for me to use now to start sticking my stickers. Now, before I do all that, I don't want to have any of this stuff get onto the paint. I am going to move these away from here so that I can use my project space here. Another thing too is I can use any of these from the series. Like I took these little mushrooms out because there was one in the series that has a little mushroom cap, and I'm like, how cute would it be to put a little mushroom on its belly? So I think that's the one I'm going to do for this series. So I broke out the little mushrooms as well. And this is all part of it. Like legitimately, you guys are seeing an actual custom design come to life. If I bought like, if I had, let's say when I was doing the bead pen topper purchase, I bought like 3 sets of these frogs. That's literally all I would sell. I'd be like, limited series, you get your frogs, have one series that you sell, that's the full complete set. Sell the other set either as mystery bags or individually, and then be like, look, I got one of my mushroom frog left. And then you can just pop it onto your bead pen top, or you know what I mean? Like, or sell it as a complete set. You could just sell it on its own, sitting on the keycap like this one. So you only need to do the one base, and then you can sell the series where they can interchange it. It's quite literally up to you. All right, and then for the stickers, I'm going to use the tweezers that I have, the project tweezers, toppers. Also on different online sites. I honestly cannot mention them on here. The algorithm doesn't like it. Now keep in mind when you are I do have, by the way, if you click the link in my bio, it'll take you to the Substack. That will have all the listings of all the information, but that is quite literally the last time I will mention that because I don't want to get dinged again. All right. So on here, you'll notice like there's different little stickers. Some of the stickers might be a little too big. That's okay. We are customizing this. I can trim that piece with a scissor. That's not an issue. I'm going to make this what I need to make it to make it my own and make it my own design here. Oh, yay. Hi, Maria. Welcome. So I'm showing you guys how to create a signature series and tap into a niche market, which is the fidget keycaps. I put this video together and you guys probably saw it. Thank you for the rose. I appreciate it. And so I'm showing you guys how to do that and tap into the keyboard, like the mechanical keyboard market, the fidget keycap market, and the bead pen market, which is what you have. Thank you guys. I appreciate it. And so on here I have, you know, my little reeds, and then I can put my little hibiscus. I can put, you know, the little tadpoles if I wanted to, or the little lily pad, whatever. The lily pad, those I actually save for the water, right? Because they kind of float on the water. Same for the bigger flowers. But what would be around the swamp? Like that's how your design mentality has to go. Like what would make the most sense? And so in this aspect, I might want this one here, which has the reeds on it. And it's quite literally simple. Just apply the sticker onto the base. You can use your finger to push it on there. You can use where is it? Here we go. You can use a silicone pen to press it in just to make sure you get all the little air bubbles out and all that stuff. It really is up to you. Don't go buying a ton of stuff. If you need to use your finger, use your finger. The whole point is get a series sold first and then buy more supplies and reinvest in your business. Don't keep buying more stuff just to try to make $1. All right. So now the next piece, what else do I want? Do I want more reeds? Do I want all the reeds all around it? Or do I want something else to add to it? Right. So I can add, what can I add? I don't want to add other frogs. I want our frog to be the main thing. So let's add, I might just do reeds all around this one because it's all the reeds that are on the edge of the swamp. So if you remember, I mentioned these reeds are a little bit bigger than expected. If you need to cut out your stickers, do it. Cut them out. Make it convenient for yourself when you are creating. Don't try to keep it all together on there if you don't need to. And then measure it before you take it off the sticker. Always measure. Make sure that if it's sticking out, so like there's the top part. See if you guys can see that. There's the top part of the sticker. I want to make sure it's aligned with the top. I don't want it to go above it, but look, it's that much is sticking out. Well, guess what? That's what I'm cutting off, right? That's where my cutoff point becomes, so that it doesn't, and I'm going to do just a smidge under, right? So that it doesn't stick out above my design. Because remember, we still have to go in with one more coat of the top gel. Now, really quick update. I think I signed up for some weird co-host versus thing, and it's supposed to start at 8 o'clock. I don't think it's like, unless I initiate it, it won't do it. But if somebody pops onto this thing, which they shouldn't, because I don't even follow them, I will let them know that I'm not participating in that thing. So just a heads up in case somebody does pop up. I don't think that they will, because I'm supposed to let me pop this thing off. I didn't like follow them or do that weird live event thing from TikTok, but I need to spend my time showing you guys this because it's more important than doing a weird game thing. All right, and then I have my last set of reeds right here. I'm gonna cut that piece off. Here we go. Now let's measure again before, there, perfect. It's not gonna stick out. Let's take that off. And be very careful, guys, when you're doing this part. Don't dig too deep, because then you're going to stab yourself through the back of the paper. You want to be able to peel it. Just try not to stab your finger. All right. So there we go. We're going to add... Excuse me. Sorry, had a little sneeze. Excuse me. All right. So there we have the last reed. So now there's our reeds all around the base of our swamp. If you wanted to add something to the back, you could. Oh, thank you. I appreciate it. If you guys wanted to add something to this piece here, you can. It's not required. If you keep it, great. If you don't and you do what I did, which is I cut it off, which, by the way, to cut it off, don't use scissors. Use the jewelry pliers that have the cutoff feature, and then just line it up to the base of that keycap and press down. It will literally go pop off cleanly. So these are super cool. And like I said, I'm going to link all of the tools. Click the link in my bio, do the Substack thing. It is free to get the article. So hopefully I don't get, a violation for continuing to say the S word. But there you go. Oh, I don't want to take that off yet. All right. So there's my stickers. Let me add my tool back on here so that I can apply the last part of my top coat. For this one, like I said, I'm not going to put any design in it, but you guys can if you want to make it more whimsical. All right, this is going to be the final coat that we give it, just to seal our stickers so that they cannot be peeled off, so that by mistake, if somebody brushes it against like a set of keys, or if they are, oh, my little sticker thingy did it not stick? There we go. Okay, there we go. That way, if they are actively using the pen or the bead cap thing, it's not, when they're pulling it apart to use it on their mechanical keyboard, it's not going to fall apart on them. Now this one, I'd only go a little heavy-handed, and only a little, because I want enough to then go through the base of the And top coat is the only gel I would say and advocate to put a little bit on the edge here of the top lip, because you want to seal the top lip as well. Because top coat will not dry sticky. This, at least this one. It's a no wipe gel. All right. And then here we just want to go around the edge. Remember, I don't need it perfect. I just need it functional, because nobody is going to see the bottom of this piece. I'm going to clean off a little bit before I then do the final portion here. All right. I'm happy with that. It's covering the stickers. It's covering the bottom of the base that I needed all the way around the edge, leaving that middle piece clear. So when I put the rhinestone gel to adhere my little character, he's good to go. And then on the top lip portion, just to seal the edges off. All right, so let's cure that for 60 seconds. It only requires 60 seconds. All right, there's my little characters. Now, while that's curing, I can start adding, you know, if I wanted to add little decorations to them, which I do, I want to add my little mushroom on there. And I can always like look to see which mushrooms work the best, because he's got the little mushroom hat and I already had these little stickers. So I am going to leverage them. So which one do I want? Do I want like the little cutesy mushroom that has a little face on it and is sideways? Do I want the one that's all cute and pudgy in the middle, which I think that's the one I'm going to do because it's super freaking cute. Right? And remember, this is our Pond Frog series. So if there's wording on these nail stickers, that's what you want to start leveraging as well. I already used the word pond frog on the other one. Now you're probably wondering, well, Sasha, it's a nail sticker. Why didn't you put any base gel and all that? Because the only thing we're going to do on this one is add a top coat. Nail stickers are stickers by nature, right? That's their literal intention, is to be a nail sticker to stick on a surface. I don't need to put base gel to stick a sticker. As a matter of fact, the base gel will make it worse because it will make it bubble. So there's our mushroom. Now we've got that little custom mushroom sticker. And guess what? You can go buy these, but I made it my own. I made it my own series. So if someone were to buy this from me, they would look at yours as a knockoff because you didn't make it my style. You didn't make it look like a legitimate collectible. And you'd have to have all the same, you know what I mean? You'd have to gather the supplies that I got and things like that. So I will be linking, by the way, all that stuff for you guys. But just keep that in mind when you are doing your own series. The combination of supplies that you use, it's very, very unlikely that you're going to have someone that's going to be able to copy you unless they knew exactly where to get them and you shared that information. All right, so I'm adding the little word playful on the hat. The mushroom cap, I got the little mushroom guy on there. Okay, and the next thing I want to do is coat it with the top coat so that I can cure it. All right, the other one's done, so let me take that one out. All right, so there's our base. Our base is good to go now. Super cute, ready to go. And if you guys recall, like that's what the base should look like, right? It looks like the base of a swamp. I'm going to take the pen portion out. I don't need this piece anymore. The nail stickers, the sticker, base sticker is still in there, or the double-sided tape. So I'm going to use my tweezers to pop it off. So I don't need that in with my LED piece. All right, there's an easier way to do this. Let me get my other tweezers. There we go. Let me see if these will work better. The straight edge. Yep, there we go. Straight edge for the win. All right, perfect. All right, so that one's that. This is ready to go. This is ready for the next phase. At this point, I can attach the LED piece on it and even pop the battery on, the new one. So like, cause that's it. That was all I needed to do for the base. So at this point I can do the other portion of what I need. And if you still have the old battery, you know, don't tear this piece apart. Leave it so that you can put the old battery in. And use like a piece of tape. So when you dispose of it, it's not just loose in the trash. All right, so there's our new battery. And you slide it in, it's probably gonna like flicker. The light's gonna flicker. You want the label face out towards you, and always test it before you pop it into the base, right? So there you go. We got our light. It's very strong. It's awesome. I always point the light away from the edge, or like where the keycap keychain is going to go. So I have my light facing out, because if somebody does use this for their keychain, I don't want the light facing out here. And then it's like all the, hold on a sec. There you go. I don't want all the cool stuff going away. Right. So this piece is ready. Like it's ready for production at that point. And then one of the things we're going to do lastly is attach like the fancy bead to it. But this is good to go for right now. Okay. So last thing we did was add the word playful on the mushroom cap. We added the little mushroom to its belly. But we need to make sure we add the top coat to it to give it that structural integrity of it's not going to scuff, because if you notice, this is like a matte design. So if somebody puts this in their purse or something like that, it will scuff the design. We don't want that. So we're going to go ahead and paint it. Now, you're not going to paint the butt base. We want that to stay matte, because guess what? That has to be the piece that's going to sit on the keycap. You don't want top coat preventing a solid, adhesive bond to that keycap, because you want to be able to, if they want to pop it off, you don't want this thing popping off without the keycap. So we're going to leave the base alone, but we are going to lightly sand it to make it ready for the rhinestone gel adhesion. Okay. I use a nail file, standard nail file. Just scratch it up a little bit. Doesn't have to be perfect. And even if it scuffs it, it's okay, because it's not going to be seen. Once we're done doing that, grab your alcohol pad. I like these because they are not cotton based and they won't leave, the little fleckles of cotton all over your designs. All right, perfect. Now you can either do the same trick with the, like what we did with the bead, the base portion. Or if you're like me, there's time. I don't care. I will dig in here if I need to. Like you can dig in here. You can use your drill to drill a little hole. Like all of these are pre-prepped for me. So like I could have easily just popped this on there and started working on it, or put a bead pen base to it. But this one didn't have that. There we go. So remember, nobody's going to see that. So I just want something that's solid. So when I'm painting, I don't get it all over my hands. All right. So just like before, we're going to top coat our Senor Froggy here. This is going to add that protective coat. You only need the one coat. And you're just going to go through it. We don't want globs, right? We just want to brush it through so that we have a coat of the top coat gel on it. It protects the design. It ensures the sticker stays in place. It doesn't move. And you want to make sure you get every nook and cranny. Especially the parts that are going to be visible. That's what you want to make sure you cover. Now, cool thing about nail gel, it's self-leveling. What that means is if I didn't brush it perfect in one spot, it will self-level. It will make the coat adhere to itself, and it will create that smooth design. So that's why I told you guys, don't go so crazy. Be like, oh my God, I gotta get the brush perfect. It's self-leveling. It will correct the brushing of it. It actually just kind of globs together and it looks beautiful. It's the same thing when nails are being designed. I just want to make sure I have every portion coated. So I go over it to make sure I didn't miss any spots. One more time underneath. And any excess that you see that you're brushing, just kind of pop it back into the bottle. If you have your bottles separated, make sure you're separating them. You don't want to use the same gel bottle that you're using for your nails. Once you decide to use it for this, you either do what I did with the resin. You either do what I did with the resin plate, or you dedicate that bottle just for your crafting. All right, so he's ready. He's all coated. Stickers are in place. We cure it for 60 seconds. All right. If you guys have any questions so far on what we're doing in the process, let me know. Like I said, I had joined something here with a TikTok event. It says it's supposed to start in like 5 minutes, but like I said, I don't have that lady followed, so I'm hoping she doesn't just pop onto my live, but just giving you a heads up. If something does pop up and it's like some weird event thing, that's what it is. I'll try to jump off of it. It's like a co-host event or something. All right, we're just finishing up the cure. And there we are. Oops. Close this thing. There we go. All right, so there we are. Glossy, beautiful, and protected. Whereas that's the dull version, right? Look at the gloss, and now it looks all like it's a resin piece, right? Even though this is like a PVC. They call it a PVC type material. All right, perfect. That's literally all we have to do to this piece. So that piece is done. The next piece is our keycap. So this one is, the cool part about this one is it has the keycap. I don't know if you guys can see that or not. The little hole at the bottom for the keycap piece. I showed this to everyone the last time that I kind of brushed on it. But if you guys didn't know this, if it's perfect on the top of your bead pen, so if you ever need a base for your bead pen and you want to put like a little chibi character on there, these keycaps, awesome as bead pen top. Like you could screw it on there, put some glue in there, and there you go. You have basically a stand for your character, and make that the top of your bead pen. So if you didn't know, now you know. These are awesome to have as a base, but we're using it for our design here, right? So I want to make sure that top piece is the water. So we're going to bring back our resin plate, and we're going to clean the green off of it and then add the blue coloring to it. And similar to the green piece that we had, it's going to need to be modified since the blue is so intense. I don't need an intense blue. I just need like a water blue. All right, let's see. I hope this thing doesn't decide to just bring somebody on my live out of nowhere. Let's see. All right, so now we're cleaning our plate. And this is the cool part about working with nail gels, guys, because it doesn't hit, like you don't have it right in the line of sight of the UV light. It won't cure on your stuff. And if you mess up when you're painting, like let's say I would have messed up on this, I could easily wipe it with an alcohol wipe and then fix it, right? Same thing when I'm doing these. That's what I love about working with these like gel paints and stuff, because they are not cured yet. You can clean your mistake. All right, so now we have our base ready to go. Here's our blue. Same thing, I'm gonna just use a little bit of it. And then I have, where's my white? There it is. There's my, it's like a transparent white. And I can always add a little more white if I wanted to, because it is the one that's going to lighten the blue. Oh, no, I'm using my silicone here. And we're just mixing it to make a light blue water design, right? Because that's what I want. I want it to look like they're sitting on a lily pad in the water. So that's the original one on the left, the original color. You see how this is how you can make multiple colors. You don't have to buy 50 different versions of blue. Just get whatever color you want to mix with it or do stuff with it. And just like art class, you know, make it a different color. Make it the color you need just by mixing the whites or the browns or the blacks, whatever colors you need, mix them in. But all I need to do is have that one blue and I'm good to go. I don't need to buy 20 different blues. All right. Let's get our brush. And before we do that, same thing. We need the base gel to hold the color. Now, same thing as this one. All right, we didn't put any in the middle here because that's going to adhere to the base bead that we're doing, the fancy bead. Same thing for this one. I don't want anything on the top here because that's where our frog is going to be adhered to with the rhinestone gel. So keeping that in mind, that's what we're doing with that. I still want it on the edges, right? Unless I know for a fact it's going to cover every single portion. Like, let me see here. I can double check it right now. Oh yeah, he's going to cover everything. So I don't even have to color up to the edges, right? So that makes it so much easier. So let's get our base gel in place. And I just need to do it around it. I don't need to do under. I don't need to do on top, just the sides, because I'm doing the watercolor, like that watercolor effect almost put it in the wrong thing. I want that watercolor effect on this keycap, but I need to add the base gel so the gel adheres great on there and it's not just runny. And make sure you coat the entire base of the keycap. No, you do not have to, sand it down or anything like that. You just need to make sure you have all your edges that are going to have paint covered with base gel. And once you're ready, you can pop it into the UV. Cure it for 60 seconds. And then we're going to start doing our painting on it. Base gel, you only need to use it for those two pieces, which is the base of the fidget keycap and the top of the keycap. We're still going to work on creating our flower, our fancy base bead here, but we want to make sure this top piece is done first because the other one goes by super quick. This is the only piece that takes a little bit longer because now you're having to make design decisions. Design decisions. But if you guys saw the video from yesterday where I talked about your signature bead design, when you're making these prototypes, that's when you're deciding what you're going to put on there. Like that's your design moment. These are technically all prototypes for me because this was the first one I ever created. Well, guess what? Now I had the base, right? This is my prototype. Now I know what to do. I know exactly what to do because I worked through the process with this one. This one took me longer. And by the way, I did film this process for this one, start to finish. And do the same for yourselves, right? Film your process start to finish. Go back and review your work. How else can you improve? How can you make it faster? What can you change to make it easier to make them? But this is why I'm saying when you create these signature series, you can charge a little more for them. And not just a little, you can charge a premium price because they are unique. They are handmade. They are you're making them, and you have filmed and documented the process. Guess what? Now you have content for your social channels showing how you brought this piece to life. How many content creators don't we see that have thousands upon thousands of followers because they're showing how they make, a little character and bring it to life? All of a sudden, someone needs to collect it because it's offered in limited time and limited quantities. Do the same for your products. Do the same for your bead pens and your cross-market pieces, right? I can do videos of this, show how this whole process came together, and I can assure you I will sell out faster than I can make them. You guys, that's why I want to start making sure you guys are like going through that mental process of like, oh my God, I have so many things I can do now with these things, right? Because I just opened up that whole portion for you. Now, before we do that, oh no, the blue is the base. Okay, perfect. Because I'm going to do some white above the blue. Like the blue is just kind of glossied over this portion up here. I'm not doing it all the way down to the bottom. I want to add some of that white. Gel polish to be able to make it look like, like the little edges, like the water ripples and the reflection. Now for this one, you'll notice I'm actually just dabbing, right? We're making it look like water. We're making it look like water. So we want to just dab. You can paint if you want to and just, make it look like swirls and stuff, but it is up to you. I just wanted it to look like, like he was on the water. It's moving. It's got life. Right? Water isn't perfectly brushed. So you want to make sure that you give it the life you need to make it look as realistic and as unique as possible. There you go. That looks like water-ish. Oh, Vane, I gotta make sure I tell your bestie. Well, I don't even know where your bestie is. He's probably downstairs. That's my sister, guys. So yeah, there we are. Now we need to cure that before we do the white portion so that we can kind of gloss it over the top of that blue and make it look kind of like, that reflection off of the water. 60 seconds on that. I'm done with the blue. So now you guys can, while that's curing, clean up as you go, especially if you're not doing more than one piece. Just clean up as you go. It'll be so much easier than leaving stuff to just air dry. It won't cure it, unless you directly hit it with UV light, but it just makes it so much easier not to have to go through and take caked off stuff, have to deal with caked on product. And it makes your supplies last longer. All right, so we got our froggy, we got our base. We're done with our, no, we're not done with our stickers for now because we still have to add our flowers and our lily pads to the piece that we're curing right now. And then last but not least, we're going to do our base bead, and I'll show you all that. But we're almost done with our second version of our fidget. Super freaking cute. All right, that one's done. Now, where's my, there you are. And same thing. I use this for my nails. I don't want to cross-contaminate it with, supply from from like the keycaps. So I do use that resin plate and use it as the place where I pull that product from. All right, and now we're gonna just kind of add that little water lip. I heat it and peel it. Oh yeah, you can do that too, like a sticker. Definitely. If you wanted to do it that way, like I personally like to apply it directly to the item because I don't want so many, like I already am going to add stickers to this. So I don't want to double layer a bunch of stickers to it when you're doing it on a keycap. Like for nails, definitely. I've been seeing a lot of people do that and I'm like, oh, that's genius, right? But for these, I personally just paint on them because it makes it so much easier and I don't have to worry if I have to cut the sticker piece down from when I'm curing it. There we go. All right, cool. Got the little water effect, it's the ripple and all that. Now I can pop it back in. And then same as before. I like your poses. Thank you. What was I going to say? Oh, goodness. Oh, yeah. Same as before. Like when we did this one, we're going to add a light coat of the top gel, add our stickers, then do the final coat of the top gel. And then after that, we're going to adhere our little froggy onto the top of the bead. And then I'm going to show you how I cure it. Because remember, one thing it's important to understand when you're curing these items, when you have a flat base or a flat, what's that called? A flat UV LED, like this kind of setup. When I put the keycap portion on here, I don't want to stick my whole hand in there and hold it just to be able to cure it, right? So I use a portable handheld one, which I have here. And you guys have seen it in my videos because it's easy enough for me to go, okay, I'm going to put the rhinestone gel on here, flip the keycap on there, and then I'm going to flash cure it so it sticks. And then I can just pop it into my big LED machine without worrying that the keycap's going to slide off. Because remember, those resin gels, nail gels, all that stuff, it's just paint until it gets cured. All right, cool. We got that piece ready to go. Now I can put my light version of my top coat, cure it one more time, add our stickers, and then final cure it before we add our froggy. And with this one, like I said, it's just going to be a light coat. It doesn't have to be heavy. I can even go back to the original part that I did, coat it. Just a light coat, enough for our stickers to stick, and then we do the final part of it. And I'm not adding any underneath or on top because our frog's going on top. It's going to cover that whole piece with the rhinestone gel. Okay, there. All done. 60 seconds. And now I'm going to look at my stickers here because I really want to make sure I pick the cutie stickers. All right, there we go. Let's clean that. Got 20 seconds left on the light. I'm not using my resin anymore from this point, so I can remove that from the space here. And if you guys have any questions, let me know. I know this is like a process, but like I said, this is how you create your own signature designs. This is how you can document the process that you go through and your limited series and then sell your stuff for a premium because now you're hitting multiple markets that are going to want this piece. All right, cool. Done, done, done. I can now pick my stickers. So this is the top of the water. So I can do like the little hibiscus flower, or I think they're called hibiscus flowers, right? I gotta be careful because these things are so sharp. I want you guys to be careful too when you're using your tweezers, because they could definitely stab right through there. Okay. And like I said, you could push these on with your finger, or you can use a silicone tool to push down, make sure there's no bubbles, there's no separation, none of that. That's why we use the top coat, by the way, to make sure that the sticker sticks before we add the final top coat. I want another lily pad. Oh, there's those cute flower. Oh, I like this flower. I'll do that one. It's just sitting up on top of the... And I'm going to do, since I already have a flower on this side, I'm going to do it on the opposite side. So I have that one. And I have this cutesy one over here too. Let's kind of pair them up. Remember, you can layer these if you wanted to. I just wanted it to fill like that space there, so. All right, and now I'm gonna do lily pads here, so it meets my design, my design requirements for my OCD of uniformity. There's a lily pad there. Let's press that in. Make sure the design is solid. Do the same for the other side. Let me see which way it's facing. Okay, good. So it'll face the opposite way. Because I want it to look like it's a different scene on each face of the keycap. All right. Super simple. Stickers all around. Final coat of the top coat. Now we're not putting any top coat on the top of the keycap, but we are doing the same like what we did underneath, is just kind of brush the edge so that we seal the paint and it doesn't have a lip, so that it prevents somebody from like quite literally peeling the paint. If you guys ever have, like, these are gel, you know, that's gel paint on the top of my nail. I can't tell you how many times I've been able to like just easily peel gel paint on. I don't gotta soak off or anything. It just quite literally can pop off, given the right circumstances, right? So you don't want that happening on your design, because if you're charging quite a bit of money and your customer is like, hey, yeah, this thing just popped off, that's not going to be a good experience for them, especially after they've paid premium prices for your custom designs. All right, so I am brushing the inner lip of that. Remember, it's top coat. It won't stick or make it adhesive to the keycap experience, but it will seal that design. And then we want to do the same for the top piece here. Just the edge, because our frog needs a clean base. All right, cool. All set. We're going to cure it for the final 60 seconds before we adhere I use like a thick rhinestone gel for my, it's like a high viscosity rhinestone gel for securing the frogs onto the actual base of the keycap. Okay. Don't need these anymore. Take these off or out of here because we don't need them. Like I said, use the time while it's curing to clean out your space or close up your items so that they don't dry inadvertently or get hit by the UV light inadvertently. If you guys have any questions, don't hesitate to ask. We're going to be using our little tool here real quick. That's a wax pen if you're not familiar with it. Normally used with rhinestones because we are going to be applying some rhinestones here shortly. I'm going to put my stickers away. And if you have, more from the series you're creating, save your stickers. Don't toss them. You never know when you'll be able to make more use out of them. All right. Perfect. Beautiful. Secured. ready to go. All right, so as we said, we're going to apply the base. So now I can go ahead and take the bead rod off of the bottom of the keycap, because what we need now is we need that transparency. So when the gel is touching the base of the frog and the keycap, the UV light can come right on through and fully cure the rhinestone gel. Okay. So we're going to use like I said, a thicker viscosity rhinestone gel. This one you brush on. It is a brush on gel. And I'm going to use, actually, let me use this one. I have it already open. I use this one for, like I said, always separate your brushes. This is the one that I normally use for my rhinestone gels. It's the one you normally see in my videos. And just apply the coat of the rhinestone gel onto the base of the frog. I normally swirl it just so that it doesn't do that weird spider, the little spider web thing that just pops up and then gets all over the place, because this stuff is not like hot glue gun that you can just then like take it away. You'd have to quite literally use an alcohol wipe to then remove the excess. Now I'm making a little bit of a mound in the middle here, and I'll show you why. All right, that's good. So if you notice, the keycap has an indentation. There's a bevel in here, right? Because that's the whole point, is to use it as a keycap to type. But the moment I have a flat surface on here with this, it's going to create a gap. So that means the frog won't stick. But if I add enough product to the frog, I could even go as far as adding some product to the top of the keycap. Let me move my froggy a little bit over my fingers. There we go. I can put a little bit on there just to make sure it fills that little gap and fully secures and adheres to the keycap. Because remember, we're making this a multifunction design. It's a fidget for your pen, but it can be used as a keycap on a mechanical keyboard, and it can be used as a fidget keycap. That's 3 products in one purchase. That becomes then collectible. All right. Now I have to decide which side I want my froggy facing. I love the little flowers, so I will do it flower side forward, right? And you're holding it upside down so that you can just make sure that you have it secured on there. It's not gooing or oozing everywhere. That's why I love these thicker viscosity rhinestone gels. And you're making sure that the design lines up with your froggy and that it's facing forward correctly. Because remember, once we cure it, it's cured. It's stuck on there. You'd have to like quite literally peel the whole thing off with like pliers and stuff like that to be able to pop it off. Or if you have a really strong grip, you'll be like peeling stuff off that you don't want to peel off. We're going to use our portable handheld UV light to flash cure. Flash cure is always half of the full cure time. So 60 seconds is typically the full cure time for any like rhinestone gels or gel paints. 30 seconds is the flash cure. You can also flash cure 10 to 15 seconds, but this is a lot more thicker than you normally would do. So I flash cure for 30 seconds. And now, oh, Fizz and Bliss, no worries, sweetie. I'm going to put this stuff on the Substack. Now that we flash cured it, I can leave it just like that and pop it into the UV light so that it fully cures. I'm always going to want to face the open space, like the part that has the clear view to the rhinestone gel, towards the machine where all the lights are. So no, don't point it out this way, point it towards the inside of the machine. Since that was a thicker application, do a 90-second cure for that one, because we had to fill that gap, the gap that exists at the top of the keycap. All right, I'm going to wipe down the rhinestone gel from this. Remember, while it's curing, clean up. Do your cleanup in between as long as you're not reusing it or needing to reuse it. Clean up in between. It makes it so much easier to move on to the next step than having to clear all the previous mess out. All right, we're not gonna need any more of our gels. The only one we are gonna use is our top coat, and I'll show you why. And we're gonna keep our rhinestone gels in place because we are gonna use them again. So this is the process I would do, guys, if I wanted to make a series of these cute little frogs into my bead pen, add it to a mechanical keyboard. If you guys didn't see that before, like now I can tap into that market, right? People who have the cute little keyboards can now apply that bead pen top to their keyboard and then exchange out the other ones from the series that they collect onto their bead pen. So now you've made a multi-function design. And then on top of that, because we are leaving for this one, because we're leaving the keychain piece in place for this design, I can now add my keychain ring that I included in my order. Oh, thank you. They are super awesome. And now I can make it a keychain, a fidget keychain that they can take with them. So you just made something that they could use quite literally on 3 different pieces of their to make it a collection. They can use it on 3 different designs or tools, making the value of your design that much more. It's versatile. It can be used on different with different features, and you just added a ton of value. So now you can charge more. No more $7 to $10 bargain, prices. All right, there it is. There's our second version of our series, right? It's got the little playful sticker on there. We have it coated. It's sitting. It's not going anywhere. There's 2 of the thank you. There's 2 of the series, and I have a ton more to choose from. They normally sell these as they'll sell it to you as they have these little stickers. You could pop them onto your car. They're supposed to be car decorations. And there's a little series of, piggies and frogs. That's what I literally got them because I was like, oh, they are so cute. They would look so cute as bead pen toppers, and they're generic enough so I don't have to worry about licensing issues if I use Hello Kitties or Zoom Zooms or any of those kind of things with those big companies that love to sue small businesses. I try to, for things like this, you want to keep it as generic as possible. And because you're customizing the design, right, you can make it your signature series. And so with these types of designs, they already come in a pack. So if you're going to make it a limited series and you've already bought something like that, only design what you have. As you're making money, then fine, go ahead and start planning out the series you're going to do, all the supplies you're going to need, and plan out your budget. But now you're making money. Oh yeah, all on the Substack, all of it. What was I going to grab? What was the next thing I was going to grab? Oh, I was going to grab the keyboard, but I already did that. Okay. So now that we've got our froggy ready to go, our base is ready to go. Let me move this out of the way. This is our initial froggy. There's our design, right? There's that keychain piece. If I want to remove it because it's not, I'm using it on my bead pen. I still need to add that, we still need to customize and create the fancy bead, but you don't have to. You can. I obviously recommend it because otherwise you're not going to be able to, you can't drill through this to put it on there. I miss your DIY. So if you're on my Substack, I am going to put it, it's going to be, so on the Substack side, it is going to be for the paid members, the full tutorial, but I am going to have highlights on there. Because this one I do have the full tutorial breakdown and everything. But I am still doing an article with step-by-step and the guide. So you're still going to get those on the free subscriber side. But yeah, this one is the keychain portion. I'm going to have instructions and videos for the keychain version and the non-keychain version. Oh God, what was I going to say? Oh yeah, because we kept the keychain portion on this one, if I'm doing the full design for the base, right? If I'm doing the full base design for a bead pen, now I can add a drop pendant. So that, you know, I want you guys to picture, like, I still have my fancy bead down here, right? And then I have my, you know, my bead pen thing here. But if you have a drop pendant that matches or goes along with your design, you've just created yet another add-on collectible, because they could buy the collectible drop pendant that attaches to that piece. So it doesn't have to be used as a keychain if they don't want it, but the option's there. Literally have like all of these design options for your signature series. You're going to be collectible. They're going to fight for your stuff because they can't get it anywhere else. So let's work on our base bead, our fancy bead. They say that there is replay on YouTube. Oh, if it's, yeah, there's also, if it's streaming to YouTube, yeah, it'll be on there as well, I think. Does it say? If it does, perfect. It'll be on there as well. So yeah, we have our base bead. I have a standard base design. I went with the green because I don't want to have to sit there and paint the entire bead, right? So there's the base color. Oh, on YouTube. I wish it actually would stream to both because it makes it so much easier. but yeah, do I have it on the YouTube side of things? I think I can probably pop it on there once I get it. But yeah, it's normally like I'm adding it as a value add for my subscribers as well, on the Substack. And then I also am doing, don't forget, I do those lives starting next Friday for the paid subscribers. So that's going to be more focused on what you guys want, questions, like direct questions for what you are doing for your designs. Like I can give you guys more direct guidance. Okay, so we've got our base. So if we look at the original design, right, I have the green base, we've got white flowers, we've got our rhinestones. You're going to see some rhinestones underneath. That comes from these strips. I had bought these fabric strips. There probably is. I'm sure there is. Like I said, I've been like adding these as a value add for like the Substack and putting highlights for the free subscribers as well. So you guys will still get like the details of the information. But there, yeah. But it's all going to be on that site. And I got to stop saying it because they keep restricting. They keep hitting me with like restrictions because I keep mentioning the other site. So what I did was I found this fabric tape. Oh, the wooden fan. Yeah. So actually this would be a good option for the wooden design, or for the wooden beads. And you could also still use the top coats on it. So this is like a fabric rhinestone tape. And it's got a really good hold on this thing. So my nails are so short. I always struggle with these little tapes. There you go. Ah, might help to drop that piece there. All right. Now, the only downside of these is because they're made for fabrics, and you could probably like put fabrics around it and stitch and whatnot. They are super sticky on the sides, like right here on the edges. So, there's a reason why I use the top coat, and it's to coat and ensure that the sticker doesn't lift off of the bead, and it secures that stickiness from being on the actual bead. So if you had a wooden bead, depending if you have it really depends on the size of the bead that you have, but the way I cut these down is there are rhinestones that are aligned. I absolutely love just cutting it down the middle. Keep the sticker paper on the back on so it doesn't stick to your scissors. I cut it down the middle because the whole look that I want is that I want it to be a strip of rhinestones in the middle with my bigger green pieces of rhinestone all throughout the top portion of it. Those I secure with rhinestone gel. So we're going to go through that whole process, but I cut it in half because I don't want these, like this big old gigantic tape on there. I want it to be there as an embellishment, but I also don't want to spend 20 hours putting rhinestones in a single file line. So this is your cheat sheet, right? This is your hack on how to make it look like you spent hours putting rhinestones down the center of a bead without quite literally putting rhinestones down the center of your bead. Use a, God, what is this called again? The shaper, the bead pen shaper, or the bead shaper, to hold it in place. I already had it peeled on one side. Just got to find it again. There we go. I start with this piece first. So we're going to secure it down the middle and then just twirl it around till you end up on the other side. It should stay in line. Oh, I almost cut that perfect. Oh, I'm off by 2 rhinestones. Look at that. All right, so I'm going to lift it just a little. I want to cut those extra little 2 rhinestones off. There we go. And then I join it. Perfect. So there's the center. Diamond file. Yes, it is. It's like a diamond file. So it is a diamond file, but it's like, they call it a shaper, I guess, for the hole. So like if you wanted to make the hole bigger on the bead. I like it because, man, look at this. It does not fly off, so it stays where it's at. So I put it all the way around. If it's like higher on a spot, you can always kind of like shift it with your finger just to kind of ensure that it's aligned all the way down the middle. But man, I'll tell you what, this saves me hours from rhinestoning individual rhinestones if I don't need to. And it's adhesive, so it will, as long as your wooden beads have some kind of coating on it so that it has, you know, it's not just a plain wooden bead. Like if you need to put like a coat on it, you can use like a top coat, nail gel, or like a high viscosity resin brushed on. But even the resins I wouldn't, because they're so watery. The top coat works great. The like a rhinestone glue could work. It's just something that is not so porous, is the best word I could say, to be able to secure the tape on it so it doesn't just peel off. All right, so we've got it on there. I think it looks pretty good. It's down the center like I want it. And now we're going to move on to the next step, which is securing our rhinestones. These success, you file them a bit, or no, not for the wooden ones. Don't make it even more porous. No, I would, for the wooden ones, you have to give it some kind of a base coat, something that'll ensure that any of the material that you are, you know, putting on there, like the resin glues and all those things. Yeah, it's got to have like a, I don't want to call it a slick base, but almost like you're creating a acrylic bead. Because it's such a, you know, wood is a porous, and sometimes they already come with like a coat, right? I wish I literally had like 4 or 5 of them that I got from like a batch, and then I kind of tossed them because I was like, I don't like working with them. But if you've already invested in that supply, use it, right? Same thing with silicone beads. I bought a bunch of those and I haven't used them. I reinvigorated my use of them by finding the Aleene's jewelry and metal glue, right? So you can still do it as long as you have, you seal off. Almost like imagine your decks that you have to, you know, close out the pores of the wood with varnish. Same exact mentality. You need like a varnish. If you have something that you can use as a varnish, like a top coat, do it. Oh yeah. So I did this yesterday. I showed you guys this glue. Works wonders on silicone beads. So silicone beads, they're notorious for you have to kind of use it as is because, you know, they, yes, I know. And it's crazy because you would have never thought that this glue would work great with silicone beads, but that's what I love doing. I love testing things out. And so I use that glue on it. It's still flexible enough, like I said, but it creates a perfect barrier that still lets the silicone bead be flexible, and you can use it on your metal wires and on your keychains and stuff, all while ensuring that it's impact safe. So let me see if I can find, where did I keep telling you guys, like every time I put something away, it's like, it drives me nuts because I try to be organized, but then when I need it for my lives or something and I want to show it to you guys, it's like damn near impossible to find it. What did I do with it? Oh wait, I think I know where it's at. Here. Oh. I'll try to find it and show it to you guys here in a second if I can. I have like my stuff kind of like organized, but in my own method. But yeah, it makes it so it's impact resistant, all while ensuring the rhinestones stick to the silicone. So super cool glue. The glue is in use for accessories to place onto silicone. Yeah, well, no, this one can be used for metal. So perfect example. I had bought this beautiful, like a while back, I bought this, it's a bead. Where's my pen? It's a metal alloy bead, but when it arrived, it was broken in half. The metal piece had separated. So I added little dots. I recorded this process, by the way. This is going to be a video so you guys can see it being used on metal. But I added it where the piece had come apart, just a little bit of it. And it's got to still cure the full 24 hours. But this isn't even fully cured, and you can see like it cures as little as 2 hours. But I fixed it, and now I didn't lose out on my metal alloy fancy bead. But it also works on silicone because it keeps the rhinestones on there without them popping off, and it's impact resistant. I'm trying to see if I can locate where I put my silicone beads, but I can't see it. I put it away a little too well. Let's just say that. I'm like, I'm probably never going to use this again. So, oh, found them. Always when you, okay. So this is the result. I wanted you guys to see, you know, in that video that I had, how this is a legit silicone, right? And then this one is as well. It had a white base to it. But I added this glue, worked the rhinestones all the way around, and they are quite literally resistant to the impact. So if you've ever struggled adding designs to your silicone beads, or if you have a ton like I do, like no joke, when I tell you guys, I legit, I'm gonna show you, right? So I got all my stuff over here. When I tell you I have tons of silicone beads that I haven't done anything with, even the little metal rods, I'm not joking. There's no reason to not use the supplies you have and make the most out of them. That's what I'm trying to teach you guys, right? So by doing that, guess what? It just I know, me too. When I first started using it, I was like, oh God, it gets so sticky. It's like little hairs stick to it. But guess what? Now with this glue, I basically turned it into almost like an acrylic bead because it's got the impact resistance. Whoa, I just messed up my little tray. It's got the impact resistance. They don't fly off. And now I can use it. So now I have an entire basket of silicone beads that I could put rhinestones on and make my own little fancy rhinestone beads. I can use that glue to attach little charms and make whatever I want. And I can still use the supplies I had without having to go buy more stuff. So that's what I'm saying. You guys can use all your base stuff, and I just made all my little green rhinestones fly all over the place. It like quite literally littered everywhere. All right. No worries. There we are. There's that one. There's that one. I don't need that many anyway. All right. Three. I know. So yeah, super cheap. It's like $4.95 for this big tube. Super awesome. I do have it linked on that Substack for the video. So if you saw the video, go to that Substack and you'll see it. It's linked on there directly. So you'll go straight to it. I can't mention where it'll take you, but you guys are pretty savvy. You know where it'll take you. Oh, there's some more of my the poke hole. Yeah, that's linked on there too. When I show you guys the full tutorials, I quite literally link like all the products, from the rhinestones that I used on, like all of that stuff. Even this little tool, it's all on there. So, and it's free to access. That's through the Substack. So click the link in my bio on my profile picture there, and it'll take you to the homepage of my site. It'll pop you over to it. And I do post articles daily. So I'm going to be posting another article later today, and it's going to go out to all the subscribers. And it's, like I said, it goes to the free subscribers as well as paid. So, all right, cool. Let's finish up our bead here. All right, so we got flowers, we got rhinestones, and then I do have the sugar inside as well. So, and then we added our spacers. All right, so next up, I want to add my QT rhinestones. So what I do is I use a precision tip for my rhinestone adhesion. These rhinestones are super cool. They're like, lightweight. They have, they're the perfect thickness for the UV light, so it'll still cure it and seal them on without it. Oh gosh, where did I put that? There it is. Without it flaking off. And I can continue on. I don't have to just stop right there. I can, let me do my whole alignment thing. Do right there. Now, as you guys are creating your stuff, understand you will go a lot faster because you're not sitting there explaining and doing what I'm doing. This is only taking the time it's taking because I'm quite literally walking y'all through every little step. Yet another reason, by the way, I love rhinestone gel, because it acts like those B7000 glues with the tackiness, but it cures within 60 seconds in the light. So we're curing that one. Next, we're going to add the flowers all the way around underneath the strip. So like we're going to fill the whole under portion of it with the flowers. And then we're going to add our spacers before we add the sugar. So like I want the sugar, that's another thing I love to advocate for, is making sure we're not wasting product. The sugar doesn't have to be under the flowers. It doesn't have to be under the rhinestones. I don't need a full sugar bead before I apply everything else. The sugar should be literally the last thing you do. That way it fills the gaps of your bead without it, you having to now apply a thicker gel or something to adhere the flowers to. The flowers should be adhering directly to the bead. Same thing for the rhinestone tape, same thing for the rhinestones themselves, same things for the spacers. All right, cool. They're good to go. They're not flaking off. So for the flowers, and for the spacers, I'm going to do the spacers first. I do the flowers and then the sugar last because I do a coat of rhinestone gel on the bottom and at the top. I add my flowers and then I dip into the sugar. What size are your spacers? So these are 12 millimeter. These are 12 millimeter and it's a 20 millimeter bead. But they work perfect for bead pens. So I just want to make sure I had, so like the whole point is that this is going to go underneath, right? It's going to go underneath this so that it becomes a bead pen topper, as well as adds that, you know, it's like a 2-in-1. You got your topper and your fancy bead at the top of your pen. Another idea too, guys, if you're great at, you know, you have the patience and you're great at designing, not every bead design creator wants to do this. So another market that you have is crafters just like you, but they're ready, willing, and able to buy designs as long as it's their exclusive design, right? Like your exclusive design that they're buying direct from you. You're not selling it to every single person. Maybe that's the premium that they pay is, you know, they get that series from you. Hi. Aloha from Hawaii. Hello. Welcome. So I'm going to add the spacers next. And the last thing I want to do, as I mentioned, is the flowers and the rhinestone, sugar rhinestones, because that's going to take advantage of the gel. Oh, thank you. I know I do a lot of talking because I want to make sure you guys are getting like not only the crafting portion of it, but you're also getting the business side of it, right? The whole point we got into this is because we wanted to have something that we could, you know, grow a business out of and have fun creating something cute. Well, by the time we're done buying all the cute stuff, we're stuck looking at this overwhelming supply of beads and wondering how the heck we are going to set ourselves apart from every other bead maker that exists. I'm going to put a thin layer, not so thin, but I am using the thicker rhinestone gel around the base of the, I shouldn't have done that on that. Around the base so that it has a better adhesion. And then I will do one more thing to secure that spacer will not pop off, because a lot of people don't do this second part that I'm going to show you. And then you have, when you ship things out, those spacers, you know, don't survive the shipment. Oh, thank you guys for the gift. Thank you. Maybe put my brush back there. All right, so we've got our little bead. You see how already it's like sticky on there, which is perfect. I'm going to align it with the hole. It's there, right? This is the first part. I'm going to go ahead and flash cure it before I fully cure it. Remember, we flash cure. Let me close all my glues and stuff. We flash cure just so that any design that we have that could slip off or it's on a round base does not slip off during the full cure portion. So I will advocate for having a little handheld like this so that you can flash cure. And then your full UV LED light to fully cure. Flash curing only for 30 seconds. So we're doing half the time of a full 60-second cure. You're still going to do the 60-second when you pop this into the UV. But guess what? This sucker ain't going to go anywhere. Yep. Yeah, I literally linked all of these. So yesterday, like I said, I did the signature line. How to create your own signature line and the tools to use and everything. It's all on there. Oh, look at me. I'm talking and I just almost fully cured it on there. Let me go ahead and do the 60 seconds on there. That's what happens when I get distracted. Let me grab a sip of water here. So where are you guys joining me from? I know I saw Hawaii. Where else are you guys from? Like, where are you at? I'm in Florida, by the way. We're about to be hit with that Arctic blast. Thank you. Love you guys. Appreciate the gifts. We're about to get hit with that, 28 degree that I didn't sign up for, because Arctic weather wanna be Arcticing over here. All right, San Francisco, girl, I'm gonna be up there. I'm gonna be out there probably within the next month. Not necessarily San Francisco, around the Beverly area, but yeah, my 9 to 5. I'm a trainer, so I do train around the country. Washington State. Awesome. I absolutely love Washington. Oh my God. I went to the National Redwood Forest. Well, that's actually Oregon, isn't it? Washington has, yeah, because Washington's right above that. or below it. I don't know. I don't geography test me. Yes, Florida. Tell me about it. Oh, oh, I got you. Well, Imaginary Creations, thank you, thank you. I'm gonna, like I said, I'm gonna post an article on my Substack, so you'll get to see the details on that. But the full video will be on the paid side for it, and we'll see. I do the paid side first, and then like a month later, I post the full video on my other socials. So, but it's gonna be like a 2-hour video, so just a heads up. Georgia. Oh, nice. Love Georgia. I've traveled, like I said, quite 82 in Hawaii. So you're lucky. You get the nice weather there. Tomorrow morning we're gonna be waking up to like 28-degree weather. And I'm like, I'm not even joking when I tell you, I quite literally bought 2 of these. I have one in the fridge just so that I can have my coffee in the morning without having to drive over to the Starbucks because I am not dealing with that cold in Washington. Oh, good. Good night. Oh, Rose, thank you. Lovely to meet you too. Thank you so much for joining. All right, so this is cured. We're going to do the other side before we do the final thing that I'm going to show you, which, by the way, the final thing, Rose, if you haven't left yet, is going to be to add a thin bit of rhinestone gel around the base. It's going to get covered up, so don't worry about the glue line, because remember, we still have to add our roses. But this will ensure this spacer does not pop off or go anywhere. So add a little bit of that rhinestone gel underneath and cure it. You're good to go. That's it. That's all you need. Need SV. Yes. I have I am a regular at my Starbucks. And you think by now they like, I have a few people who already know my order. Like I am very vanilla. I'm very basic. At one point I was drinking the same drink for the better part of 8 years. I used to drink a raspberry mocha. And when they got rid of the pink raspberry, I was like, oh, time to switch drinks. Yeah, I was not going to brave the weather tomorrow morning for a cold drink. So I bought it ahead of time. Oh, goodness. All right, so we're going to finish up the other side of our bead before we add the rest of the rhinestone gel, add our flowers and our sugar, and then do the final adhesion to our base. Now, I am going to prep this before we do the final pieces. When we adhere this piece to the flower, keep in mind, right? If I don't have a direct line of sight for the most part, like if there's no major way for the UV light to get through, it may make it harder to cure, right? So I put this together just so you guys could see how it all came, together and how cute it is. But under normal circumstances with design, you're going to want to make sure you pull out that piece and leave this part open. That way you can cure and you have the UV light go through here as the spacer is attached with the base and using that rhinestone gel. Okay. It'll make sense here in a second when I show you guys, but you want to make sure you have as much direct UV light on that rhinestone gel, because man, that hold is what makes or breaks these, like this style, this signature design, right? You don't want people to buy this and then go to pop off the little character and then the whole thing falls apart. Thank you. Thank you. Everyone meet my hubby. He's such an awesome supporter. Oh, by the way, your bestie said to call her like a couple hours ago, but I didn't know where you were in the house. So she told me to tell you to call her, and she's joined my live a couple of times too. Yeah, his bestie is my sister. They're both teachers, and it's so amazing to have such like their awesomeness. I'm a trainer and they're teachers. I teach adults, they teach children. I can't teach children. I have no patience for children. Adults I can deal with. I can't with children or with kids. I have kids of my own, but I don't know. You just have to, I think you have to have the patience of a full-on saint when it comes to teaching kids. That ain't me. All right, there we go. We have it aligned. And remember, we want to make sure we flash cure it before we pop it into the full cure. This time I'm only going to flash cure it for about 10 seconds. Yeah. Darla's like, yes, amen. I can't. Not, you know what? And it's like the generation is so different now. It's like, even like at the younger ages, there's like literally no respect whatsoever. So I'm like, nope, I will punt you across the hall. I can't do it. All right, that was a 15-second cure. We're good to go. I'll pop it into the, I have that, you know, the village mentality. Oh yeah, I know. Exactly. And that's the thing, right? I have that village mentality. So like, I am not opposed to, like, if I see a kid doing something wrong, I will call it out. Like, I have that, it takes a village mentality. If your kid's doing something wrong, would you prefer that as a parent, I correct them and tell them not to do that because then it'll cost you a ton of money later on? Like, yeah, I am, and I'm not opposed to somebody telling my kid not to do that either. But yeah, I don't have the patience to train children. That's why I hold my husband and my sister in such high regard, because they have the patience of saints to do that. I, on the other hand, train adults. I can do and deal with adults so much better. All right, so right now what we're doing is curing the other spacer on the other side. We added the base rhinestone glue to it, and we're going to want to do that one pass that I mentioned with the precision tip rhinestone gel, just to make sure this sucker ain't going nowhere. And it will get covered up by the final base design that we're doing, because we still got to add our flowers and our rhinestone, our sugar rhinestones. So let me add that all the way around. There we go. Let's cure it. And then we're done with this precision tip. But we're done with the precision tip portion. All right. And this is just the frog series. They sell so many of these. Like, when I tell you, while this is curing, I'm going to show you. You guys can do this if you, let's say you invested in a ton of durables and stuff like that. Like I have little durables, right, that I invested in, and I have a ton of them. I can make a whole series of these, you know, little fidget keycaps with all the durables on it, right? Or if there's a specific series of them that you have, make that a signature series, because you have now a fidget keycap, you know, with whatever stickers you decide to grab. They're nail stickers, by the way. And like I said, I'm going to link all this stuff on my Substack, but you have the ability to do that, to create a series out of stuff you already have. See, like they have like a whole series of little piggies. Oh yeah. Like I said, I'll link all of that stuff so you know where it's, you know, where it, you know, where I got it. All right, so we're good to go now. So that part is secured. We have that paste. Now we're going to do the final go around. Too shy to sell. You don't even have to show your face. Like I know I show my face when I do my videos and stuff, but you quite literally don't even have to talk. Like you can quite, you know, just get, I'm not gonna say literally again, because my sister's gonna, yeah, she's a school teacher. So she's like, you know how many times you say literally? You can take a video of your process and put, you know, let TikTok do its sound portion, and, you know, have your process documented, and it'll cut it up into little video bits. And then people actually see your designs coming to life and know that you are the one that made it. So you don't have to show your face. You don't have to put your voice out there. you can just literally do a video that has you doing the process, and it will auto cut it for you, add a sound, and you're done. Just share it. That's all you have to do, is just share it with the world and let them see that they can get that design from you. Okay. So last but not least, right? Now I want you to keep in mind, if your tape shifts because you've been working on it or all that, this is why I do this part last, because if I'm like so busy that I'm like hurrying up and, you know, putting pressure on certain things, and I don't notice that my little tape has written up and, you know, has moved, I put these rhinestones on the tape so they will move with the tape. But I don't want my tape so high on one side and not on the other. I want it centered as much as possible. And I can still move it around before the final piece goes on there. All right. I'll call that good. All right, there we go. So last but not least, we're going to add our rhinestone gel and brush it on, because this is a thicker one, right? It's not going to goop everywhere, all over that open base. This is where we are going to start applying our flowers and the sugar stones after we've applied the flowers, and then we do our cure. Now, I'm going to be smart, and I'm going to use the shaper instead of using my fingers to hold the base. This is why this little tool is so handy. I can paint and it's not letting the bead shift. Always swirl your rhinestone gel if you're going to use the rhinestone gel so that it doesn't spider out. And if you guys have any questions about anything, let me know. Like, I normally would make that tape like perfectly aligned, but we're struggling for time here, so we want to make sure we get this on here. All right, last but not least, almost said last but not least. Where's my? Let me grab my flowers here. Yep, there they are. You can get these anywhere. They sell them in bulk all over the place. I'm just going to align it with the previous design that you guys saw, right? So there's no rhyme or reason to these flowers. You can just, you know, pop them around. Like there's some that are small. So like you can do one big one, a small one, a big one, small one, you know, keep it to a design style. But like I said, it's your style. You do what you want. It's your design. It's your technique, right? It doesn't have to always be perfectly, you know, OCD style for like my OCD style, right? It's like here you have the two bigger flowers because it didn't give enough room for all the alternating, but we have it. We have it on there. Oh, let me do that one there. Do that one there is a bigger one. Let's get the small one in the middle. And the cool thing about this rhinestone gel, you'll notice it's very much like B6000 without the toxic fumes and with more versatility to dry in 60 seconds. Dude, I have no patience to wait 20 years for this stuff to dry, especially if I need my project done, right? I don't want to be sitting on a project for days because it takes 50 years for that glue to dry. Once we get our flowers in, before you cure, do not cure just yet. You want your rhinestone gel. We do offer the gels as well as the creation tapes on the site. So if you click the link in the bio, it'll take you to my site. And I do offer these. I do have them on there. Tap to make sure all the excess goes away. Run it through one more time. Tap, tap, tap. So all the gaps are officially filled with sugar rhinestones. Let me see. I know that focus is a little weird. There. You can see it on there. Now we cure it. So yes, this is called rhinestone gel. I like the thick viscosity ones. So like the ones that you have to brush on, those are the best ones for that type of design. Thank you so much, Darla. I appreciate it. Yes. It is fun when you look at it because you're designing something that's your own. You're creating something that's unique, which, let's be real, when we all started in this business, we were literally buying from every wholesaler or every person that we saw on TikTok. Guess what? So was everybody else. And yeah, you can arrange beads differently and whatnot, but you can't say it's your own design. You can't say it's unique to you. You can't say it's exclusive to you. Now you can. Now you can make it a collector series. Now you can make it a multifunction piece that you can sell to people, not just collecting bead pens, but collecting keycaps for their keyboards, wanting fidget keycaps for their keychains, and it's all one design. And then you just do that every month, release a new series. You'll see how quickly you can scale your business to the point where you can then, grow it. It's not just you making it. Now you have the ability to hire and bring people on. All right, so I cured it for the 60 seconds. I can leave it as is. It doesn't need anything else. I don't need to obviously if there's still little bits of rhinestones that were loose, they'll pop off now. But I can leave it as is. I don't need to do any more top coats or anything. If I wanted to, I could, but that rhinestone gel quite literally sealed the edges of that tape. So I'm good to go. Now, here's why I mentioned it's better to take that base off so that you don't interfere with placing the spacer underneath it, which then connects the entire piece, right? So we're going to want to apply. This is the last portion of our rhinestone gel that we're going to need. And I love these because, like I said, a little bit of product goes a long way. But they also provide, this is like a 15, I think it's 15 milliliters for this one. Let me see. Yep, 15 milliliters. And I've done tons of projects that you guys have seen. So I like to put it in that center area where that spacer is going to go. And I know that the metal is going to touch. And obviously it does hold metal because rhinestone gel is made for metal, like nail type items. But I'm also going to cover it. I don't care about covering the hole. Remember, this is going to touch that base. So I don't care about covering the hole. I just need it to be able to seal itself with that piece. This piece is flat. This is not. It has this big gap that I have to fill, right? So I'm going to want to make sure I have enough glue. It's filling that gap so that the pen doesn't poke through and break my seal with the base. We're trying to make these, impact resistant as well as, ensure that they last. If you're going to charge a premium because they're exclusive, you want it to last. All right. Because of the nature of this bead and everything, I can, because remember, it's flat underneath now, so it's not uneven. I can fully cure it like this in the machine. So that's perfect. Let's go ahead and fully cure it. It's centered to the design. There's no rhyme or reason on the flower, so it doesn't matter which side is facing which. I just want to make sure I fully cure it. I'm giving it 90 seconds because we did put a bigger, I don't want to say glob, but a bigger bead of rhinestone gel in that center to ensure that the spacer adhered to the base. Thank you. I appreciate it. Oh my goodness. Thank you. You guys are awesome. Thank you for the gifts. I just want you guys to start being able to, create a fully successful business with the beads and not feel either overwhelmed or defeated because everybody else is doing the same thing. You can still have the same supplies as everybody else. It's how you use it. It's how you differentiate yourself. It's which markets you're going into. If you recently joined me, I talked about this yesterday on my other show. They sell these flat charms. How many of you can just sit there and create, which I know you can, right? You can create custom beads you know, with a cute fancy flower and the base beads. Like we offer these base beads and the creations. Like you could literally do that and then bulk sell them to someone who's doing their sweet 16, the quinceañeras, a wedding, right? Now you can go to a wedding show and sell these as giveaways to the bridesmaids gifts, giveaways to the guests. And instead of selling one piece at a time, guess what? Now you're selling 15, 20, 25 at a time, requiring deposits so that you're not just paying for all this stuff up front and not getting paid for it. So once again, another huge untapped market, because we're so busy making individual designs for people that are randomly buying from us versus thinking about bigger versions, bigger niches that would buy in bulk from us. Like this is a perfect business idea right there, idea for your business. So yes, 100%. 100%. Think about it from even a birthday party perspective, right? Kids love these. They love having the little pens, the pencil version, right? That we know that they sell the pencil version of the bead pens, but they have the pencils, right? Create a 12-pack, create a 15-pack of characters that you can then bulk sell as a party pack. Baby showers. Oh my God. And everybody loves them because guess what? They're custom, right? They are custom. If you if you do it for like weddings and quinceañeras and sweet 16s, they're seeing the designs that you're putting up online. You don't have to talk at all. Just show off what you do and literally talk about how you specialize in that industry. Like I did this for my customer. Look at this custom, series of wedding dress bead pens. Oh my God, will your stuff blow up? Because now you are known as the wedding pen bead designer or wedding bead pen designer. It's insane. It's insane how much we can, how many markets we can go after. All right, it's done. There's our base. We can pop our little froggy back on. And now we have froggy number 2 in the series ready to go. So now if I'm someone who's collecting these little froggies and I buy one from you, but you start selling me the other ones as collectibles, or you can sell it to me as an entire series. So I only need the one base, right? If I'm buying the one pen base and putting it in my collection and series, I'm collecting it because it's the frogs. I want the frogs. I want to be able to put these on my keyboard. I want to be able to carry these on my keychain. I want to be able to put a custom charm, by the way, that you're adding as an add-on, right? You can have your drop pendant charm add-ons. And now I have a cute little dangly on my pen. And on top of that, when I'm done, I don't want to use this little frog anymore for my pen, and I want to switch it up to a different character. I bought all the characters from you, so now I can switch it up. And I could put this one on my keyboard. It's insane. It's insane. All the markets, all the value, all the options you guys have. It's just a matter of looking at what you have and what you own differently. And that's why I'm here. I'm helping you guys do that. And it's fun. It's fun being able to test like all the glues and all the items and having you guys go, oh my God, didn't know I could do that with it. You're very welcome. So yeah, there you go, guys. That is how we do it. That is how you create a signature series, how you make yourself stand out from every other bead pen maker and every other seller that exists on every platform, and how you tap into other markets that you never in a million years thought you could tap into because they weren't bead pens. You're not just creating bead pens. It's a full-on business. I hope you guys appreciated this and loved it. Thank you so much for being a part of it. Like I said, I'm going to it's not gonna be tonight, it'll be tomorrow. I'm gonna post it on my Substack. So there'll be the article portion for the free subscribers, and then I'm gonna put the full video and everything for my paid subscribers, and we're gonna touch base on all of this on the live chat next Friday. And we're gonna then post it. It's gonna be that's how I typically do it, like, because our paid subscribers do get the priority, unless you join live. It will be on YouTube in about a month. So you're very welcome. You guys have a month, advantage over everybody else right now. I appreciate you. Thank you so much for being on here. Thank you. And I will continue to see you guys on TikTok and continue sharing with me how your progress is going. And if you've discovered a custom design or a signature design for yourself, you don't have to share what it is if you don't want to, but just let me know that at least you're on track to creating one. All right, guys. Thank you. Love you. Take care. Have a great night.